something cool the other day. I was on my YouTube channel, the creator studio workshop, whatever thing, and I saw I just passed 750 subscribers, which doesn't sound like much, but for me it's a big milestone. And over the last couple months here, I've got 50, 60 new subscribers. So thank you everybody for watching, and please subscribe. Like the video, add a comment. If this helped you out, give me a comment. If you get into something and you're not sure what to do next, leave a comment. I try to answer as many of those as I can. Or if you want to see me do something, I've got all kinds of junk equipment I'm fixing all the time, so leave a comment. But if you subscribe, please, I love it. Thank you, please do. And until next time, have a great night. Hello everybody, and welcome back. A couple weeks ago, I was at my uncle's house, Paul, putting the snowblower on his Cub Cadet and putting chains on the tires and getting that ready for winter. And at that same time, he had another snowblower, this single-stage Toro, that also wouldn't start. But, there's no snow on the ground yet. It's awful cold outside. It's middle of December now here in Michigan. But there's no snow on the ground, and I didn't feel like tearing apart the snowblower that night, so I brought it home with me. But now, it's middle of December, and snow's around the corner, and I'm going to go see him tomorrow to pick up some other things. So I thought it'd be a good time to go ahead and fix this. And what we have here is a Toro, what is this, model 2450. It says here it's guaranteed to start, so we'll see if that's true. 5 horsepower model, again, just a little single stage snowblower. He told me that it does start, but it doesn't run well. I think he said it only runs on choke. So maybe it is right. Maybe it will start like it's guaranteed to. But I think it's going to need some work on the carburetor, as usual, to get it running correctly. So let's give it a start and see if it'll run. Alright, well before I take this apart, first thing I want to do is see, will it run at all? Will it even start? If it does start, how well does it run? Is it only on choke, or do I have to do something else to keep it running? Does it stall? Because that might give me some clues as to what's wrong with it. So first of all, let's see if we have any gas. And I have not even looked at this at all. Yep, I can hear some gas sloshing in there, so that's good. So it has the key in it. Let's turn that on, give it a few pumps here. What is this? Choke. Okay, we'll pull that out and try to pull it. I'm questioning that guarantee. I'm not sure it's going to start after all. Let's try halfway choke. Just to be sure, I'm going to put a little bit more gas in it. Maybe it's too low on gas. Let's make sure it's got some in there. I can hear it sloshing, but I'll add a bit, see if it'll start then. Give it a few more pumps. that guarantees a bunch of crap because it doesn't start at all. So I guess let's take this apart, get the carburetor off, and see what's wrong with it. So, since it won't start at all, one of the first things I want to do is get this spark plug out, take a look at it. Make sure that it's not so dirty or damaged that that's keeping it from starting. Because I can see down in here, the carburetor is wet. It's definitely getting gas down there. And that spark plug's wet. So we're getting gas. So since we've got, the spark plug looks okay, but wet, we're getting fuel, so that makes me think that maybe we have an ignition problem and not so much a fuel problem. So let me get a spark tester and see if we have any ignition. So first off, key in the ignition. Then let's give it a couple pulls. Alright, so I don't know if you saw that there, but if you look in here, I'll pull it again, you can see some blue electric arcs, so it is getting spark. Alright, so some good news here. Here's our old spark plug that's, wet and a little bit dirty. And here's another new spark plug I found in my collection. This old one, let's see, where's the number on it? It's a Champion CJ8Y. This other one is no brand, and it's got different numbers. It's a L7T. I don't know what the heck that means, but, looking at them, it looks like they're the same thing. And most importantly, they're the same length and have the same thread. So at least it's going to fit in there without damaging anything. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this in there and see if she'll start. Easy does her. We'll put that terminal back on, spark plug wire on the sparky plug. Get rid of some of these things. Alright, so put our gas cap back on. We got a new spark plug in here. That's really it. Got this cover hanging off here still, but that's fine. Let's pull the choke out, give it a couple pumps for good luck, and see if she'll do anything. Looks like there's still something more to it. So I guess up on the bench it's going to go, and let's take it apart. Alright, so we've undressed her, taken the chute off, taken all the shields off, and now we can actually see the carburetor here. I did notice along the way that this is actually a two-stroke, so I put just regular gasoline in earlier. I'll have to put a little bit of oil in there. But now we can see inside the carburetor here, and pretty basic really. You got our choke, so that's closed, choke on, that's halfway, choke off. Let's see, our primer bulb up top here. So this hose goes down into the carburetor and spritz some things. Let's see if we get any spritz. Oh yeah. So we've got fuel going in there. Plenty of fuel. I'm going to pull that spark plug back out and take another look at it. Maybe it's washed a little too much. But other than that, I mean, the carburetor secures on here real easily. It's just these, we got a screw there and a screw there, and the carburetor will pull off. I think it's probably time to take the carburetor off and take a look inside of it. There's no shortage of fuel, so I'm kind of baffled as to why it's not starting here. But let's take a look, and maybe we'll find something along the way. Maybe it's something even deeper in here, like a reed valve, or, I'm just not really sure yet. But we'll keep on going until we find the problem and get this thing started. All right, so I got this carburetor off. It came off pretty easy, just the two screws. And I got it apart here on the bench. And, it's pretty simple. We've got our fuel inlet here. The primer, there's a little spot here where that tube for the primer goes on it. It's got a corked float, which is kind of cool. It's not going to fill with water. But it's really simple here. Obviously, we're getting fuel inside of here. No problem with that. And I don't see any reason that this won't be sealing. It's not really a problem of too much fuel, I don't think. I mean, the fuel tank is higher than the carburetor is. So I guess we could be getting a lot of fuel in here. But something that I did notice is I pulled the needle out of the carburetor here, and we should be able to see, like right through there. And it's really hard to see that. But if I put this on my drill, so I can just have, one light here. Let's see, so there you go. It's not focusing real well, but you can see through just a little bit, but it looks restricted. I would think we'd be able to see more light than that. So I'm going to get a wire and clean that out. Maybe it's a little bit plugged, so that could help. Another thing I'm going to do is pull the needle out of the carburetor here, make sure that that's clean, make sure it's not leaking fuel. I'm sure that the float's floating. But between those two things, that's really all there is to this. I checked the bolts that hold this adapter to the engine, and these are tight. The two that hold the carburetor to the adapter are tight. So, I'm going to clean the carburetor up. And, another thing I did is pull the spark plug back out. And, it's getting fuel. It's not soaked, but there's a little bit of fuel on it. I drained the tank, though, and this is some pretty, I guess it doesn't look all that bad there, but there was some pretty dark fuel coming out. So I'm curious when the last time is that he ran this. Has it been parked for a couple of years and this fuel has more or less just gone bad? Or is it, maybe only a few months old? I'm going to guess it's probably at least since last winter, but hard to say if he used it last year or not. So between just cleaning the carburetor up and putting some new fuel in it, that might be all that it needs. Another thing I did, part of why I drained the fuel, is because I always want to test the fuel flow. And in this case, we had fuel to the carburetor, so I wasn't really concerned about it. But this is a great way to see if you have fuel flow. If you pull your fuel supply line off the carburetor and it's like just dripping out, or you're not getting hardly anything at all, then maybe you need a new fuel filter in line. Maybe you've got a restriction in the hose or in the fuel tank. But this fuel just flowed right out, nice fast stream. Just like it should. So it's not a fuel supply problem to the carburetor, but we could still have a problem between the carburetor and the engine. So let's get it back together and give it another try. Alright guys, so I want to show you something here as I put this back together. One thing that I always do, even if it doesn't look terrible, is clean out this tube, the jet for the carburetor. And you saw a minute ago when I was showing you on the drill that you could see some light through there. But all that I do is I take a piece of wire, like automotive stranded wire, and I strip some out so I get some strands here. Then I just start running the strands through that jet, and I'll start with one strand, then I'll go to two, I'll twist them together. Here's a couple I twisted together. And actually I got three twisted together going through here. And for how much light you could see before, I know I was cleaning it out to get three strands in. So let's take a look at that now. Find that light again. Where is it? Yeah, so maybe it's a little bit hard to see, but you can see so much more light. Let me cover up this other light here. You can see so much more light coming. You can actually almost see through there to see the bulb. Let me turn that back on. You can almost see right through the jet to see the bulb now. So definitely got that cleaned out. Look how much brighter that is, which tells me that we're going to get a lot more fuel flowing through here. So that definitely could have been part of the problem, at least. In fact, you can almost, if I hold it right, you can almost just see right through it on any light. Yeah, there you can see some light through it. So anyhow, got that cleaned out. So I'll get the carburetor back together and put it on here. That could have very well been part of our problem. The spark plug is pretty dirty. That could have been part of our problem. The fuel is pretty old. That could be part of the problem. So this might be a case where we just have a few different things contributing. We're going to make all of them better, and hopefully at the end of it, it'll start. So let's get this thing back together. Alright everyone, so we're back here where we started at least, not really how we started here. I left all the skin off because I'm not sure if it's going to start. So before I put all the body back on in case I need to access something again, it's ready to go. But you know, honestly it looks a lot cooler this way too, so I could just put the chute back on. Maybe I'll charge Paul extra to put the body skin back on it and just leave it this way. Actually he's not paying me at all, so I'll just leave it this way. And but anyhow, let's see if we can get it started. Put the key back in, turn the ignition on. So at this point, we've got a new spark plug, some Chinese spark plug that fits, but it's new. New gas in it. It's mixed 50 to 1, like this thing recommends on the label here. And also, I pulled the carburetor off and cleaned it out. Found that the jet was pretty restricted. So you know, any one of those things or a combination of them could be the problem. But ignition's on. Let's turn the choke on, give it a couple priming pumps, and see if she'll fire now. I'm thinking it's probably that jet was plugged, but whatever it was, it's running good now. It started the first pull. Before I pulled it like 20 times and it won't start at all, so I'm happy about that. So, you know, I'm so happy I might just throw the skin back on this too. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great night.